Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today for the seminar titled Advancing Resilient Supply Chains through EWS. This seminar will discuss supply chain resilience, whose importance is growing amid the expanding impact of climate change and the potential of early warning system EWS to support its realization. To start, we'd like to invite Mr. Doi Kentaro, Vice Minister for the Global Environmental Affairs, Ministry of the Environment Japan, to deliver the opening remarks. So, Doi-san, floor is yours.
I'm Doi Kentaro, Vice Minister for Global Environmental Affairs. On behalf of the Ministry of the Environment of Japan, I would like to thank you all for joining us in this seminar. In recent years, the impacts of climate change have become increasingly evident, with extreme weather events growing more frequent and severe around the world. This summer alone, we witnessed devastating floods across the globe, such as in Pakistan in Asia, Sudan in Africa, and Mexico in North America. I would like to express my heartfelt condolences to those who lost their lives and my sincere sympathies to those who were injured. In such context, the United Nations Initiative on Early Warnings for All is critical. In 2022, Japan launched the initiative to promote the development of early warning systems through public-private partnerships in the Asia-Pacific region. Under this initiative, a consultation group comprising public and private entities was established to tailor Japanese early warning systems to better meet local needs in partner countries. Japan has faced and overcome numerous natural disasters and aims to share its experiences through the initiatives. The private sector in particular offers a wide range of technologies and services with a proven track record of successful application. While involving the private sector in adaptation has been considered challenging, we hope to demonstrate that such participation is indeed possible. I believe this session will provide a valuable opportunity to explore how innovative solutions, financial mechanisms, and strategic partnerships can be better aligned to strengthen resilient supply chains, while safeguarding lives and livelihoods amidst the growing impacts of climate change on communities and businesses. By bringing together diverse perspectives and practical experiences, I hope this seminar fosters meaningful dialogue and leads to concrete steps forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doi-san. So then I'd like to invite next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Daisuke Abe, Executive Officer at Weather News, with 3 decades of experience in weather and climate services and disaster risk reduction. So Abe-san, floor is yours.
So thank you very much for inviting us today. So I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to Ministry of environment in Japan. Thank you very much. And so it is a great honor to have this opportunity. And so at this Japan Pavilion. So I believe the event in Japan Pavilion provides an important platform for communication between public and private sector on a global scale. Thank you very much. So let me start. My name is Abe from Weather News. So that's a private sector, private meteorological information service provider based in Japan. So the service by the private sector is defined as a adaptation service. One of the activity for the adaptation services against extreme weather. So next page, please. So the origin of Weather News dates back to 1970. So tragic vessel accident happened at that time. So at that time, JMA issued the warnings, but Shipmaster didn't know about that. So he had a meeting on the shore side. And so finally, the vessel has done a big damage and many people died at that time. So just issuing the information, that's not enough. So we support for the decision maker to make actions against extreme weather. Such kind of activities, so-called risk communication. That's a private sector services. Next page, please. So we are with about 1,000 employees, and so we provide the services globally. Next page, please. After 40 years, we have expanded our services in sea, sky, and land domain, and for individuals, covers all types of business in 45 areas of the global market. Next page, please. This is a schematic picture diagram showing how weather information is provided to the supply chain. So when delivering weather information, just delivering, that's not enough. So when delivering weather information to companies and individuals in the supply chain, much of this information are provided through private sectors. So, and utilized for the decision makers. So rather than simply providing weather information, we deliver information aligned with each company's strategy and business context and operational strategy. So thereby supporting more accurate and timely decision making, which we recognize as a key value for the customers. Next page, please. I'd like to explain about the legal framework in Japan called Meteorological Service Act. This act clearly defines and regulates the role and responsibility between JMA and the private sectors. This is one of the most important elements that allows the private sector to function well. Next page, please. I'd like to quickly present EWS PPP initiative. This initiative is realized through close collaboration between the Ministry of Environment and the private sector to promote the development of early warning system. We aim to contribute to global climate change adaptation efforts by sharing Japan's extensive knowledge in weather-related disaster prevention in Asia. So EWS is aligned with the UN's early warning for all target. Our core objective is so clear: to accelerate EWS development by private sector with strategic public support. Next page, please. We established the EWS consultation meeting in June 2023. This initiative has 58 Japanese members, including manufacturers, weather-related companies, and insurance companies. Next page, please. So this shows example of EWS PPP prototypes. Our focus is ASEAN region. We developed 3 core prototypes. So one is a SPECT, that's the name of the company, offers an AI disaster and crisis management solutions in Vietnam and Philippines using AI to quickly extract reliable real-time crisis data from open sources like SNS. Hitachi is operationalizing its flood simulation tool, DioVista, with the Vietnam Academy for Water Resources, and they are expanding it to the Philippines for flood detection and damage assessment. Finally, so weather news, we provide a specialized weather information services in Bangkok, Thailand to mitigate traffic congestion and flooding from heavy rains. These showcase how EWS-PPP is actively promoting life-saving EWS business model in the Asia-Pacific area. So next page, please. So we will introduce a wide range of our activities. So these are examples of our collaborations. The top left shows a partnership agreement with Japan Ministry of the Environment. The right bottom shows presentation as an IMO. So weather-related risk affect every industry. So we work together with a broad range of global partners. Next page, please. Okay. So the environment for producing weather forecasts, it's now dynamically changing. It means, National Weather Service has developed a numerical weather forecast for 70 years. But so accuracy has been improved dynamically, but now AI weather forecast is coming. So AI-driven forecasts, especially typhoon track forecasts, the accuracy is so great, so good. The error is less than 40%. So it means, private sector technology is now, so sophisticated, especially in the typhoon tracking forecast. So public and private sector both are now trying to absorb the AI technology from private sector, big IT guys and many such kind of AI technologies. So we have had a collaboration scheme with Vietnam National Weather Services, and also last week we had a collaboration agreement with PACASA in Philippines, and so also we had a collaboration scheme with Google. So such kind of make a bridging between the public and the private sector. Now we are doing. So we will bridge the latest private sector AI technology with national weather services around the world and work together to take on the challenge of applying AI to weather forecasting. This year, Vietnam had a 4 or 5 major floods event due to the typhoon. So we had happy voices from Vietnam government for the contribution to support the making forecasts for the flooding and heavy rains. Next page, please. We collect weather warning from national weather services globally and damage reports from around the world to visualize global weather risk. That's that's a picture. Yes, that's an early warning yesterday. So based on these alerts, we deliver weather risk information worldwide through website and smartphones. Next page, please. This is an example of our collaboration with a shipping company to forecast water level in the Amazon River. When water level drop, vessel can no longer navigate and causing problems in logistics. By identifying these possibilities in advance, the forecast can be used to prepare alternative transportation plans. Next page, please. Okay, so in collaboration with the University of Tokyo, we have made flood forecasts available globally at a 90-meter horizontal resolution. This enables users in the world to understand future flood risk and take proactive measures when there is a potential flood risk up to 1 week in advance. minimizing possible impacts. So by linking long-term climate forecast and daily operational forecast, so we would like to provide integrated solutions that support risk assessment and on-the-ground actions. Next page, please. So this map on the left shows the flood risk around the Belém area. And also in addition to flood, we are also preparing content that address draft risk also. Next page, please. So in collaboration with Forestry and Forest Products Research Institute in Japan, we provide forecasts that indicate the risk of wildfire occurrence and the potential of fire spread. So when large scale wildfire happens, so large scale fire tends to occur when certain weather conditions occur at the same time. For example, extreme dry condition and strong wind. So by working closely with decision makers, we aim to ensure that timely and effective preparedness actions are taken in each region when wildfire risks are so high. Next page, please. So this is a summary. So clear definition of role and responsibility between public and private sector. That's the important thing. Next one is open data policy. So as a basement, so private sector utilize data from public sectors to enhance the solutions. So furthermore, the most important element is building communities where organizations or individuals can exchange information on a daily basis. By exchange collaboration among the public, private sectors, industries, and individuals, we aim to provide climate adaptation efforts around the world. We sincerely look forward to working with you together. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Abe-sama. So then we would like to invite next presenter. So please welcome Mr. Yasumasa Tahara, member of the board and the managing executive officer at the Development Bank of Japan. He oversees DBJ's sustainable solutions and brings extensive experience from senior leadership role in Japan's Ministry of Finance and Financial Services Agency. So Tahara-san, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much for introduction. Good morning. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share Development Bank of Japan's experience and initiatives in disaster risk reduction with you during this session, where we are discussing how to make supply chain more resilient through the use of early warning system. Next, please. Next, please. Today, after a brief introduction to our bank, the Development Bank of Japan, I will cover three main points. Number one, the importance of proactive disaster risk reduction. Number two, DBJ's BCM rating loan, one of our financial methods for disaster risk reduction. And number three, our current and future initiatives in the field of disaster risk reduction. Next slide. Let me begin with a brief introduction to DBJ. The Development Bank of Japan is a privately managed, government-owned financial institution. Our mission is designing the future with financial expertise through loan and investments totaling approximately 17 trillion Japanese yen, about 110 billion US dollars, as well as consulting and asset management services. We support both Japanese and international businesses. Our goal is to promote the sustainable development of Japan and around the world. Next slide, please. Now let me move on to the first point, the importance of proactive disaster risk reduction. Next, please. Next, please. Japan has experienced various major disasters, such as the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake on the left. The previous slide, please. On the left, and the 2018 West Japan heavy rain on the right, both of which severely disrupted supply chains and economic activities. These events have heightened awareness of the need for proactive disaster risk reduction including the importance of building resilient supply chains. Next, please. As shown in the table, DBJ provides two main types of disaster risk reduction solutions, one of which is a BCM, Business Continuity Management Related Loan. DBJ also offers several solutions for the recovery, rehabilitation, and reconstruction phases. Next, please. Among these, I will focus today on the BCM rating loan because DBJ prioritizes companies' proactive disaster risk reduction, of which building resilient supply chains is an essential element. Next, please. The BCM rating loan is a loan product that DBJ offers to companies that excel in and are committed to further improving disaster risk and business continuity management. When providing this loan, DBJ assesses approximately 100 previous slides, please. There's a time lapse or when providing this loan, DBJ assesses approximately 100 items categorized from A to O as shown in the table on the left. These include items such as C, participation in regional disaster risk reduction frameworks, and K, supply chain risk management. Next, please. Sorry, stay this slide. Through those processes, companies enhance their disaster risk reduction and business continuity management initiatives. They also benefit from certification logos, which visualize their level of effort, as well as detailed feedback to help further improve their initiatives. Next, please. As illustrated in this chart, the BCM rating loan aims to enhance operational resilience, both before and after disasters. In proactive disaster risk reduction on the left, the most important goals are to minimize damage and protect employees. In business continuity management after a disaster, on the right, the key is to ensure rapid recovery through advanced planning. Next slide, please. By expanding the use of BCM rating loans, DBJ helps companies strengthen their disaster resilience and business continuity, both of which are key factors for creditworthiness and cash flow generation during crisis. This, in turn, leads to more resilient supply chains. We encourage companies to make these efforts a core part of their management strategy, and we aim to foster a disaster finance market where such initiatives enhance corporate value. Next, please. I would like to introduce two companies that participate in the BCM rating loan program. On the left, Mikuni Corporation is a 100-year-old auto parts manufacturer that operates globally. Mikuni supports its suppliers in developing business continuity plans to build a robust supply chain. On the right, Shiraken Kamaboko Ten, another 100-year-old company and a fish cake called Kamaboko in Japanese, manufacturer, resumed production just 1 month after all its factories suffered devastating damage in the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, demonstrating strong business continuity. The strong leadership of its management team and proactive risk management are key to their resilience. Next, please. Let me move on to the third and final topic. Next, please. Oh, this one. This right. Looking ahead, DBJ is working with Japanese government and other partners to develop the international risk finance standard called ISO 37116. By providing principles and requirements for financing ex-ante investments in risk reduction, this standard will make it easier for disaster-related businesses to obtain funding and will facilitate the development of new disaster risk reduction technologies and solutions. Next, please. Next, please. It is vital for companies to recognize disaster risk reduction as a core management strategy. Investing in disaster risk reduction measures and strengthening supply chains not only reduce risks, but also enhance corporate value. Expanding business opportunities in disaster solution sector is also important. Japanese solutions that utilize advanced technologies such as early warning system can drive new disaster solution businesses and help strengthen resilience worldwide. With those perspectives in mind, the DBJ Group will continue to promote the disaster risk reduction investments by providing solutions such as BCM rating loans and by collaborating with other stakeholders. We hope our initiatives will contribute to enhancing resilience in Japan and around the world. This concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. So our next speaker is Ms. Miki Sato, who leads the GX business development at NEC with extensive expertise in sustainability and decarbonization across industries. So Sato-san, floor is yours.
Hi, apologize if my voice sounds a bit strange and hard to hear. Good day, everyone. My name is Miki Sato, Senior Director at the Business Development Department at NEC Corporation. It is a privilege to be here at the seminar. Today, I will introduce NEC's approach to enhancing EWS and supply chain resilience through digital technology. Next slide, please. Let's begin with the background. Recent years have seen a dramatic increase in disasters and economic losses due to climate change. Adaptation investment is becoming more important, especially compared to mitigation investment. This enhances the urgent need of effective disaster countermeasures in supply chain. Next slide, please. NEC has provided a wide range of solutions to strengthen supply chain resilience using advancing sensing technology and AI digital technology. These technologies are the foundation of our resilience solution. Next, please. We are strengthening supply chain resilience against both production and physical risks from climate change. We will introduce specific examples of these initiatives. Next, please. The first challenge is production risk in agriculture. Changes in temperature and rainfall caused by climate change are greatly affecting agriculture. However, adaptation measures have not kept pace, partly because their cost effectiveness remains unclear. NEC quantified the cost effectiveness of adaptation options for each site and crop using local long-term climate projections. This helps accelerate smart investment, build disaster resilience agriculture, and stabilize yield even as climate change continues. Next, please. We have developed a prototype of this service in partnership with the US startup Climate AI. We integrate their advanced climate forecasting technology with NEC's decades of agricultural expertise. Next, please. This is a use case. Let me share a use case. Rice yield prediction and return on investment. The graph on the left shows yield changes. If current farming continues, yield are expected to drop 60% by 2060. Switching to heat-tolerant varieties can cut that decline to 8%, and adding irrigation reduces it even further. The graph on the right shows return on investment. Switching variety results in a cumulative ROI of 230% by 2060. Irrigation gives a 92% ROI, meaning profit are just under the investment amount. This analysis helps identify the best options for each region and support smarter investment decisions. Next, please. Next, I'd like to talk about supply chain resilience against typical physical risks from flooding. Currently, there are three challenges: lack of data, heavy reliance on the past experiences, different interpretations. We believe those challenges can be solved by utilizing sensing technologies, collaborating with AI, stimulating analysis time with AI, create valuation and return on investment. To tackle this challenge, analysis and visualization, we have launched a feasibility study project using flood simulations in the real world condition. Next, please. We conducted a joint feasibility study this year with Sinarmas Land in BSD City in Indonesia, focusing on flood adaptation measures. Next, please. Our flood damage simulator visualized flood damage and saved costs, identified potential risks, and calculate damage costs for individual buildings. Here, let me show our flood damage simulator, demonstrating how adaptation measures can be evaluated in real time. We are using actual data from BSD City to simulate flood damage with and without a drainage system. Next, please. This is a demo. First, we input open data for buildings and land. Building data includes shapes and attributes such as commercial buildings, apartment, and houses. Land data shows whether the area is commercial or residential. Now data input. Building type, land type, flood depth, without, and width. Yep, and next, it's start calculation. Select data set to be compared. And you can see visualize simulated data set to be compared. On the left, you see the before scenario. The darker red layers indicate a high risk of flooding. On the right is the after scenario. The green circle indicates installed measures, showing a clear direction of flood change. You can zoom in and out and show mesh type and building type. And then we calculate adaptation measure economic impact of measures based on the methodologies. It shows adaptation value. The bottom down. Thank you. And next slide, please. NEC adaptation solutions support every stage from planning to improvement. We visualize disaster scenarios, assess adaptation effect, and provide tools for strategic decisions. Our solution also make emergency reporting and prioritization more efficient. Next, please. In summary, NEC leverages digital technology to strengthen supply chain resilience against climate change risks. We support strategic decision-making and sustainable growth with advanced sensing and AI solutions. Please contact us if you are interested in risk visualization and ROI calculation for adaptation strategies in practical situations. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Pato-san, for your presentation. So then that we are pleased to welcome Mr. Spat Pempan from Thailand DCCE. He brings extensive expertise in climate change adaptation and mitigation, currently leading the formulation of Thailand National Adaptation Plan NAP. So that Spat-san, for yours.
Okay. Hello. สวัสดีครับ Good morning, everyone. My name is Supat Pengpan from the Department of Climate Change and Environment under the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, Thailand. First of all, I would like to take an opportunity to thank the Ministry of Environment, Japan, and IGS for arranging the important session. Today, I would like to share Thailand progress in enhancing climate risk assessment, especially in strengthening early warning system to support resilient development. Next slide, please. As you all may know that Thailand is highly vulnerable to climate-related risks that affect our economic and supply chains. Climate change has increasingly impacted key sectors, including manufacturing, agriculture, logistics, and tourism. For example, severe flooding disrupts transportation routes, damages factories, and delay production. Furthermore, water shortages and extreme weather events reduce manufacturing capacity and raise operational costs. This impact highlights the need for improved climate risk assessment and adaptation planning that can help both government and private sector manage risk proactively. Next slide, please. To strengthen the disaster preparedness and response, Thailand is advancing the implementation of cell broadcast system. This system allows rapid area-specific warning message to be sent directly to mobile phone without requiring any application downloads. There are 4 key advantages for this system. The first one, the system can broadcast alerts instantly to all mobile phones. The second, cell broadcast alert cover 100% of at-risk population. And the third one, the system operates independently without after mobile traffic. And the last one, no personal data is required to receive alerts. Next slide, please. In May this year, Thailand conducted the first nationwide test of the mobile emergency alert system. During the first test, alerts were sent in selected provinces, including Chiang Rai, Ubon Ratchathani, Suphanburi, Songkhla, and the government complex in Bangkok. In parallel, Thailand is also introducing a multi-language emergency warning capability, covering 5 languages, which are Thai, Chinese, English, Japanese, and Russian. This is especially important because Thailand welcomes tens of millions of international tourists every year, ensuring that foreign residents and visitors can understand emergency messages that in their own language. Next slide, please. For the role of DCCE, Department of Climate Change and Environment, or DCCE, plays a central role in coordinating Thailand climate change response. We serve as a national focal point for climate change matter. Our key responsibility relating to climate risk assessment include data and knowledge management, partnership, and public engagement and capacity building. Through these roles, our department functions as a core mechanism that enables climate action to be implemented across the country. Next slide, please. The NAPS Thailand provides a structured and systematic approach to help the country adapt to the impact of climate change. In the NAP process consists of the 4 main stages. The most important is the stage of development and analysis risk assessment. These tools help us identify where the risks occur, who is the most affected, and which sector require urgent intervention. DCCE's work for this stage includes the development of climate products and services, climate projection and risk map development, climate risk index development, and the loss and damage assessment. Next slide, please. In order to support evidence-based decision-making, Thailand has developed a climate risk map database system, which serves as a long-term early warning system for Thailand. This platform provides a visual data set such as future climate projections, climate hazard maps, socio-economic and non-climate factors, and climate risk map across sectors. Users, including the local government and industry can apply this data to identify vulnerable areas and plan appropriate adaptation action for their area. However, challenges remain. Currently, spatial data resolution is about 25 kilometers, which is not sufficient and precise to local planning. Socioeconomic data at the district and sub-district level is also incomplete and outdated. To improve risk accuracy, we need to enhance data resolution to 10 kilometers or less and strengthen a systematic approach for data collection and database improvement. Next slide, please. To address this gap, Thailand is preparing to sign an MOU with the Western New. This cooperation serves as a key driver in developing a high-resolution climate data platform, enhancing country supply chains capacity to effectively integrate climate information into planning, production, and risk management processes, ensuring greater efficiency and long-term sustainability. The goal of this cooperation is to support the private sector and local authorities in long-term climate resilient investment and operations. The signing MOU, the signing ceremony is scheduled for the 2nd December this year. We firmly believe that adopting advanced technology will help address existing gaps and constraints in developing the reliable information. That's all. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katsu-san, for your presentation. So then I'd like to invite next presenter, Mr. Yusuke Taishi, who leads the climate change adaptation program at UNDP with extensive experience supporting adaptation efforts across the Asia Pacific region, so that he is from the online. So Taishi-san, floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thank you to the government of Japan for organizing this important side event and for inviting UNDP to share our experience. My name is Yusuke Taishi, and I head the Global Climate Change Adaptation Team at the United Nations Development Program. Today, I'll highlight one example from Zambia, showing how enhanced climate information and early warning systems can strengthen resilience in the agriculture sector. Next slide, please. First, a quick overview of UNDP's climate information EWS portfolio. You see our cumulative investment of $776 million US. This includes broader ecosystem support, not only hardware. It reflects our focus on integrating climate information EWS across sectors such as agriculture and water management. In these projects, we emphasize tailored sector-specific information services, which is where our work intersects directly with agricultural value chains. Next slide, please. The focus of today's event is the linkage between supply chains and early warning systems. But before zooming in, I want to pose a more fundamental question. How do investments in climate information and early warning systems translate into real agricultural resilience? And I hope my presentation today will offer an answer to this question. Next slide, please. Let me turn to Zambia. Agriculture there is highly climate sensitive. Through a $32 million project financed by the Green Climate Fund, UNDP supported the installation of 20 automated weather stations and 220 rain gauges, reaching more than 300,000 farmers. The project's impact became clear during the severe 2023 and 24 droughts. Seasonal early warnings and advisories were issued in advance. Farmers received practical guidance on crop planning, input management, and market timing. As a result, while national maize production dropped sharply, several project districts achieved record yields. In parallel, advisories encourage farmers to diversify income sources to absorb shocks. Downstream early warnings informed post-harvest management, ensuring that climate-resilient crops such as sorghum, cowpeas, and groundnuts remain available, storable, and marketable even during shocks. Next slide, please. So what made this success possible? Beyond forecasting tools, there are key enabling conditions. This diagram shows what happens after a forecast is produced. The blue boxes represent the immediate ecosystem where forecasts are translated into action, something that doesn't happen automatically. In Zambia, we partnered with the government's Farmer Input Support Program, which allowed extension officers and farmers to work together in interpreting and applying climate advisories. Without this partnership, turning forecast into behavioral change would have been far harder. The project also invested beyond the farm gate. Irrigation systems reduced baseline climate risk. Village savings groups helped farmers build financial buffers, and improved rainfall observation networks enabled private insurers to develop better parametric insurance products. Previously, insurance coverage was limited and based on patchy regional data. With new localized meteorological data and actuarial modeling, products became more accurate and uptake soared, now exceeding 100,000 farmers. So in Zambia, we see on-farm resilience through better practices and water management, off-farm resilience through financial inclusion, and risk transfer through insurance mechanisms. So here, I would like to highlight that integrated solutions are proven effective to build agricultural resilience. This also shows how barriers to public-private partnership can be removed when data improves. Private insurers often lack incentives to invest in weather station networks, but once such public goods exist, both companies and farmers benefit through better products and lower premiums in the case of Zambia. The Zambia case also illustrates why international public finance remains critical in this area. Many hydrometeorological agencies struggle to secure domestic budgets to maintain their networks and retain skilled staff. Yet, well-maintained hydromet networks and EWS can save countries enormous resources by preventing or reducing disaster losses. We now have innovative models such as the Systematic Observations Financing Facility, SOF, a joint initiative of WMO, UNDP, and UNEP, which uses performance-based payments to help countries sustain their observation networks. But even with such models, financing gaps persist. Turning climate information into actionable decisions, like we saw in Zambia, requires not just technology, but also sectoral tailoring, interministerial coordination, and strong policy frameworks. These enabling conditions are often weak, and this is where international organizations can continue to play a catalytic role, bringing actors together, mobilizing grant resources, and creating the environment for private investments to flow in. Next slide, please. I want to close by introducing the G7 Adaptation Accelerator Hub, because it's an example where UNDP is working with the government of Japan in the area of climate information and early warning systems. The AAH is led by UNDP and financed by the government of Italy as a legacy of its 2024 G7 presidency. The AAH helps countries move from adaptation planning to implementation by developing adaptation investment plans and bankable project pipelines. Japan will choose a priority country to translate adaptation priorities into investable actions, and they decided to use early warning system as an entry point for this work. So this shows their commitment in supporting developing countries in this area of early warning system, and I hope to share more on the target country in the coming weeks. And in closing, I look forward to hearing today's discussions, and thanks again for this opportunity. Over.
Thank you very much, Tai-san, for your presentation. Then we would like to move to the panel discussion session. And then I'd like to take over my facilitator role to Dr. Junichi Fujino from IGES. And to the panel, I'd like to invite Ms. Natsuki Sugiura, Assistant Director at the Global Environmental Affairs Office of METI Japan, and then Ms. Esmira Javier, Senior Climate Change Specialist at ADB, as well as from online that Ms. Tranti Tanga, Head Adaptation Division, Department of Climate Change, Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, Vietnam. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishikawa-san. So we have 20 minutes for panel discussion. We have 6 panelists, so let's go sharp. So I'm asked to do the scene setting in the first, so I will try having scene setting. So yeah, we've just heard a range of perspectives from how early warning system, in short EWS, are being implemented on the ground to how technology, finance, and governance interact to strengthen resilience in supply chains. Building on these presentations, our panel discussion will now take a step further. We'll reflect on what these experiences tell us about how EWS can effectively contribute to strengthening supply chains and promoting public-private collaboration, especially under the principle of delivering EWS to the last 1 mile. To start, we'll look at the current reality, the state of supply chains and EWS accessibility in developing countries. This will help us ground the discussion in actual challenges and needs. Next, we'll shift to the private sector perspective, exploring key enablers and barriers to strengthening supply chains through effective EWS and identifying opportunity for future collaboration. Finally, we'll widen our scope to the international level, asking how the global community can work together to foster broader cooperation and scale up good practices across regions toward a truly climate resilient society. So this is scene setting. So let's go to the 3 questions. First, to Tran Nga-san from the Vietnamese government, importance of supply chain resilience to government. So what are the climate risks in Vietnam? What efforts have been made and what difficulties are encountered in managing supply chain risk caused by climate change? So over to Tran-san.
Thank you for your questions. Vietnam is among the countries that most heavily affected by climate change. And from early 2025 to date, around 11 to 13 storm and tropical depression have occurred over the East Sea and affect Vietnam's. And the cost of loss and damage in 2025 is nearly about the 0.2 our GDP, and to adapt to adaptations, Vietnam has promulgated and implemented a number of guidelines, policies, strategies, programs, and plans to respond to climate change. And we also implement a wide range of adaptation programs and projects focusing on the climate monitoring and early warning of natural disaster response of flood control in major cities and river and sea dikes. And we have implemented many projects ensuring the food security, the water security, and building climate resilient communities. And the institution framework has been strengthened through the promulgation of the law of natural disaster prevention and control, law of meteorology and hydrology. And as 2020, the number of national meteorological and hydrological observation network is comprised about 2,000 stations and points, and the accuracy of Vietnam storm forecast has gradually approached that of advance of regional and global standard, and early warm storm warnings are now issued 5 days in advance, and a tropical depression forecast 3 days in advance. And the hazard zoning map for fresh food, landslides, and foods have also been developed. And by 2020, the landslide status map has been completed for 28 out of 37 mountain provinces. And Vietnam has built and operate dedicated system for monitoring climate change, meteorology, and hydrology, and natural disasters. And many provinces have invested in automatic rainfall station, modern technology such as forest fire monitoring cameras and electronic warning signs and disaster warning. Beside that, we have facing with many challenges in the early warning system, such as the meteorological, hydrological, and climate monitoring network remains sparse and insufficient, and in local provinces, the disaster forecasting capacity are still limited, and particularly for the flash flood, landslide, and other disaster. And the warning communication system is not yet fully effective, making it difficult to reach remote and in the mountain area. And many areas still lack of community warning equipment and have weak communication network. And beside that, many agencies have limited skill and forecasting, and the climate change and disaster database is not completed. And yeah, this is my answer.
Yeah. So, thank you very much, Ranga-san. So, Shinkamon. Okay, so then next, I'd like to move to share the perspective from the private sector, and then question to Tahara-san, Sato-san, and Abe-san. We have only 40 minutes. Okay. So the question is that the effectiveness and the success factors in strengthening supply chains. To build a resilient supply chain, what should companies focus on when implementing disaster prevention measures, such as for adaptation? So, Tahara-san, first, please.
Yeah, establishing strong disaster risk reduction measures to protect employees and prevent business interruption is really essential. And developing business continuity plans ensures quick recovery. These efforts should be seen not just as risk avoidance, but as strategic investments that enhance corporate value and resilience. Therefore, this disaster risk reduction should be regarded as a management issue and integrated into sustainability management, addressing both immediate risks and long-term environmental changes like climate change. Since disasters affect entire regions, companies must collaborate with local governments, infrastructure providers, and communities. Sharing risk information and aligning disaster plans in advance strengthens the resilience of the whole supply chain. Those 4 points are quite essential, I think.
Thank you, Tahara-san. So next to Sato-san. Sato-san, over.
Thank you. In my opinion, in order to select most optimal measurements, including EWS, within limited budget, 3 points should be taken into account. One is focus on future scenarios rather than relying solely on historical data. Historical data alone is sufficient in a time of unprecedented extreme weather and cascading threats. Next is leverage cutting-edge technologies such as AI, satellite data, and sensors. And the last one is adaptation should be viewed as a strategic investment rather than a cost. Through the Smart Jump pilot project, we visualize the economic benefits of pre-disaster actions, supporting sustainable financing and risk-informed urban planning. This approach accelerates risk financing and the mobilization of private capital. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Sato-san. So, Abe-san.
Yes, so in the viewpoint of weather information provider, so just a general information delivering, that's not enough. So we need to think about the needs and wants from the industry and each customers and each enterprise. So by basing, so we'd like to ask to the companies develop the BCP, so business continuity planning. So based on that, we can create some cost-effective services so for each other. So that's the point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Abe-san, for very sharp and short reply. So we have another 10 minutes. Okay. So last question. So to the Javier-san, ADB, and then Sugiura-san to Meti. So question is that is the role of international organization and development banks. How can international organization and development finance institutions effectively support countries and region blocks in integrating the EWS into resident supply chain development, not only through financing, capacity building, and private alignment, but also by helping governments strengthen cross-ministerial coordination and incorporate EWS into national planning and investment framework? This is question. So, Javier-san.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you to the Ministry of Environment Japan for inviting Asian Development Bank to be in this panel. Considering the time, so of course, ADB has several lessons and key strategies to share. I actually have 6, but I will only focus on the first one. So among the 6 actually includes transforming EWS from public good to strategic investment. The second one is innovative and sustainable financing. 3 is capacity building and technical assistance. 4 is policy alignment and institutional integration. 5 is scaling up leveraging regional expertise. And 6, fostering public-private partnership. But just let me elaborate on the first one. EWS must be repositioned as a strategic investment that underpin resilient supply chains and sustainable development. Basically, EWS should be treated not just a public good, but as a core infrastructure for resilience. So in Asia and Pacific's, disaster costs an average of over 127 million daily from 2014 to 2023 and can reduce GDP by as much as 1.5% annually. Thus, climate impacts are expected to exacerbate this and could lead to as much as 17% and reduction in GDP. As such, strategic investments, climate information, and EWS can help the countries move beyond life-saving alerts to systems that also safeguard livelihoods, infrastructure, and economic sustainability.
Thank you, Javier-san. So just to focus on just one. Thank you so much. So next, Sugiura-san.
So thank you for the question. So from the perspective of the synergies between the EWS and international corporations, the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry think that the one key factor for embedding the EWS into like a national plan is the effective matching between needs and the technologies. So the EWS is not a single uniform solution. This is composed of detect the early signs of disaster and issue alert and the resident level response. So we think that the effective matching is very, very important. So in this context, METI has focused on the 2 main initiatives. First, we organized the matching event in collaboration with UN Habitat to provide a direct contact point between the local government in the developing countries and the Japanese companies. So in this event, they give the presentation about the problems and the technologies. And once their needs match it, they can go straight into the business dialogue. So this is the kind of the really rare the opportunity between the local government and the Japanese companies can directly talk with each other. So this event is called Subaru Initiative. This is registered under Article 6.8 non-market mechanism. And the second point is we have capacity building support. So technology alone is not enough. People should know how to use it, operate it. So the METI has provided the supporting program, including the dispatching the Japanese experts abroad and inviting the official government in the developing country to Japan to learn the Japanese sophisticated innovation. So this is currently running in Nepal and being planned for the Indonesia and Malaysia. So looking ahead, our goal is to go beyond the one standalone small-scale supporting program. We want to establish a framework that responds quickly to the emerging needs from the developing country. And in the timely, the METI will continue to make every effort to build a foundation where the Japanese company is properly evaluated and while meeting the priority and needs in the international society. Thank you.
Thank you, Sugiura-san, and thank you for all the 6 panelists. We have still another 5 minutes. Okay, any questions, comments from the floor? Any quick one? Anything? Oh, no? Bro.
Yeah. Actually, I'm quite impressed when the developed country like Japan has like an initiative or like something that help developing country like us. So I think it's very, very useful for like a developing country like us very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments? Yeah.
Thank you for presenting. And I'm Yuki, and I'm from Japan, and I'm member of Climate Youth Japan. And additional, I'm a weather forecaster in Japan. Yes. Yeah. So I really want to know, how should I do? How can I do to early warning system as weather forecaster? Because there is early warning system notice the risks, the place, but I think it is more important to convey to the habitat. So I think we need the person who can convey the information more easily or more efficiently. Yeah. So I want to be a person who can, convey the information like our warning system. So yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the question. So I'll say just making weather forecast is not enough. It means combining the weather forecast and business situation or individual situation that makes a solutions for them. So based on that solution, they can make action up to avoid the disaster. So such kind of the combination, that's so important. That's solutions. So we'd like to make a risk communication for individuals and for companies. Thank you very much.
Anyone would like to add some comment from panelists? Anyone? No? It's okay? Okay. Any final comments, final question from floor, or any additional comments from panelists? Are you satisfied? Or yeah, Javier-san, please. Yeah, please.
No, thank you so much again. Just to also give an advice. So early warning system is a system. So it includes people, individuals, the technology, as well as the financing. So we as individuals can actually provide information that itself is part of that system, the early warning system. So your role is very, very important.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's almost a time, so then I'd like to end this panel discussion, and then please give a big applause to the 6 panelists. and also the
Thank you very much,
audience who kindly joined
Tsujino-san
this panel
and the
discussion.
panelists
Yes.
for your very active discussions and comments. So last but not least, I'd like to invite Ms. Emiko Matsuda-san, Deputy Director, Climate Change Science and Adaptation Office of MOEJ, to deliver the closing remarks. So Matsuda-san, floor is yours.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for participating in this, wonderful discussions. And then my name is Emiko from the Ministry of Environment of Japan. I'm working for the Climate Change Science Adaptation Office, and also working on the climate change adaptation and the loss and damage on the ground for the overseas countries. So I'd like to deliver the very small closing remark since we have such a substantive discussion already. And then I'm not going to summarize at all. I'm trying to deliver what I'm feeling and hoping for the future. And then actually, I'm working on the adaptation and also the loss and damage. And the early warning system is also, really important component of the loss and damage. And the action on the loss and damage is to avoid, minimize, and addressing the climate change impact. And then based on the principle of the ensuring an early warning system, reach the last mile of the vulnerable communities and the vulnerable countries and the communities, both public and private sector should cooperate to enhance the applicability of the early warning functions, thereby refocusing on the resilience of the across the entire value chain. So from here, I'm hearing that a lot of the the intervention of the private sector participants. Hold on a second, my screen is stuck. As a discussion here, we confirm the role of the private sector is to deliver the sustainable services that are aligned with the local needs and their conditions, and thereby ensuring the practical long-term impact at the local community level. And I also hear that they are not only the providers of the funding. I mean, the private sector is not only the function to providing the funding, but also the key enabler to the capable of the delivering the social change of the through the various mechanisms and the instruments that they go beyond the financial assistance alone. So I'm coming here as a government, and therefore I also have a feeling that I have also have some of the functions and the role to deliver the early warning system, and then working together with the various stakeholders, and that is to understand the role of the stakeholders and the respect of the such roles. And also we also have to convene the major stakeholders to generate the synergies and maximize the overall effectiveness of the collective actions. So I have learned from a lot of today, and we hope we can get together and discuss in the future again. So thank you so much for your attention. I'm closing here.
Thank you very much, Matsuda-san. So thank you very much once again all for the active participation and engaging discussions throughout the seminar. So we'd like to express our sincere appreciation to everyone who joined us online, and then all those involved in the operation of the Japan Pavilion. With this, we would like to close today's session. Thank you very much.